showing out, making moves, no doubt. FFA pride, it's what we're all about. From classroom dreams to real world flair, we got the stories you won't find anywhere. Beyond the jacket where the stories unfold, voices of the future, fearless and bold. Tune in now, let the passion ignite. It's more than a jacket, it's a way of life. Beyond the jacket where passion meets purpose.
Welcome back to the Beyond the Jacket podcast. Today we're going to meet with Mae Wedemeier. Her SAE is Dairy Production Placement, and it isn't just about cows. It's all about commitment and care, and we're excited to learn so much about you, Mae. Tell us where you're from, a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Mae Wedemeier, and I am from Iowa in the Midwest, and I am from the Watts Valley FFA chapter. A little bit about my SAE. It is in the area of dairy cattle placement, and I work on my family's organic dairy farm, working with anything from field work to milking the cows.
I love that. Tell us a little bit about, growing up on a dairy farm, especially an organic dairy farm. It sounds like it's such a unique experience. I had the privilege in high school to know some people that were in dairy, and I always had so much fun when I got to go to their house and help them. And so when did you start officially working on the farm? What did that look like?
Well, I started riding in the tractors when I was 3 or a little kid, so started young, I guess. But I wasn't super involved growing up as a littler kid, but as soon as I hit 10, I really started doing chores on the regular and participating in my farm a little bit more.
Did you always want to be involved on the family operation, or was that something over time you grew a passion for?
I definitely did not originally love riding in the tractor. I had a trouble sitting still as a little kid, but my passion for our farm has definitely grown over the years. So
I feel that. Sometimes when you're little, I feel like they stick you in the tractor. I experience it all the time with my nephews. I'm like, we're gonna go for a ride today, and they're good for the first 10 minutes, and then after that, okay, now it's the same thing over and over again. Are we going to do anything fun? And I'm like, yes, we will eventually see something cool or whatever. So it's always fun to have them out on the farm, especially at their age. They're only 4 and 2, and so they just have a ball when they're out there. But that attention span can get you and then especially when you're 10, I mean, then it's more work than it is fun at that point, I think, for some people.
I would agree with that statement.
There you go. So where is your family farm at? I'm in Iowa too. I don't know if you knew that. So I'm located in eastern Iowa, and I'm obviously familiar with the Wapsie Valley FFA chapter. Mrs. Daisy was there when I was in high school.
Yes, we love Mrs. Daisy.
You guys had the best program in this state, I feel like. So, and I know she still helps out quite a bit. Is that correct?
Yes, she does. Yep.
Oh, cool. So walk us through your day-to-day task on a dairy operation. I come from beef cattle, cow-calf operation. So removed from the dairy side of things. So tell us kind of what your day-to-day tasks are, or what you enjoy most about your roles on the farm.
Yeah, so my day kind of starts around 8. I go out and I finish up morning chores. Typically, we have either a full-time person that milks in the morning or my dad will milk. So I typically go outside and I'll finish up calf chores. Then from there, I'll do some different miscellaneous tasks. It kind of depends, perhaps hauling manure or attempting to help my dad fix some things, which doesn't normally go always that well, but I attempt. Or just some different types of field work, mowing hay, things like that. And then I'll take a break for lunch. And then after lunch, I typically do some sort of milking or calf chores. I'll clean the barns, clean calf equipment, attend any calves that might need it. And then my day typically wraps up around 5:30, 6 o'clock-ish.
There you go. What's your favorite part?
My favorite part would probably be working outside and with the calves and getting my good tan going. But also I do like listening to music while I milk though too. So that's fun.
Ooh, what's your favorite song while milking? Is it a playlist, a milking playlist or something?
Megan Maroney gets played a lot. The cows also like Cardi B too, so
Oh, awesome. I love the diversity.
I know they're very different genres. But
yeah, that's true.
It reminds me of when I was showing steers. My mom used to say that she could hear my music from the house because I had the biggest speaker ever. And she was like, hey, you have to fix your music. Your cows should be listening to country music. And I'd go through all different whatever my mood was that day, it was the cow's mood too, I guess.
So, May, have you competed in anything with your SAE? Like, do you do any of the dairy contests through FFA, or what does that look like as far as your FFA experience?
I have done dairy cattle judging. I did that. I've also have taken cabs to the fair. Last year was one of my first years taking them again. I had taken them when I was younger, but we just kind of fell away from it for a little while. So I took one last year. So that was fun. And outside of that, it just kind of like the day-to-day working on the farm and things like that.
Did you just like fall into FFA? Like it was just something you always knew you were going to be a part of, or what did that look like? Because I feel like some schools, and I don't know if Wapsie Valley is one of them, have like a middle school program. I know Paige got initiated into FFA super early on, and so it's always been something that she's been passionate about. So I'd love to hear like what started your fire for your passion for FFA and what that looked like too.
Yeah, so definitely coming into my freshman year, I didn't have a ton of friends in high school, but a certain officer came up to me and she's like, hey, you should come to the meeting. Hey, you should do this. So I started coming and I was like, oh, this is really fun. And then I started doing contests and I kind of got hooked from there. And throughout my years, my passion has really grown for FFA. And now I'm the president of the chapter this year. I'm so happy to be serving as that for the 2025-2026 school year. So that's been a lot of fun. That's how I kind of got roped in. However, my younger brother, would say that I forced him to be there, but
There you go. I feel like that always happens. I have 3 older sisters and they were all in FFA. And so when I was in high school, it was just something that I thought I was supposed to do. I didn't know that I really had a choice. And so probably like your younger brother, I just showed up to a meeting because they drugged me there. And then eventually you find out that you love certain things. And it sounds like dairy's kind of your forte there, but it sounds like leadership is too. What's your favorite part of being the president? You probably just got elected to that. Is that correct?
Yes, I got elected in March, and then our banquet was in April, right? Yeah. No, our banquet was in March, sorry. I had to think about that for a minute.
So, May, you're still in school as a junior. I think I read that right. And you're doing all these tasks on your farm and serving as the president. How are you balancing all of that? I know in my time, I had to take a step back because I eventually bit off way more than I could chew. But how do you balance it, kind of things?
I kind of had a similar experience as you at first. So last year is my first year of serving on the officer team. And at first I definitely bit off more than what I could chew, especially with all the other extracurriculars and things like that. So I really had to learn how to manage my time better. That's a skill that I've gotten from FFA and from the leadership position, and making sure that my cup is full so I can pour into others. I think it's really important when you're in a leadership position that you're well rested yourself and that you're taking care of yourself in order to help others. Because if your cup isn't full, you're not able to pour into others.
I love that.
Oh, I like that. That's a good quote. That's going to be like a wall quote for me.
I feel like we can all learn from that because, I feel like we all go through experiences in life. And obviously you guys are both still in high school. Paige just graduated. And so experiencing something like that and being so knowledgeable that you have to take care of yourself in order to help others at your age is really impressive, May. And I'm glad that you're taking advantage of that and really, diving into that as the president this year. I feel like so many people are going to learn from you through that experience.
I would hope so.
Well, okay. There you go. What are you most looking forward to as president this year?
I'd say the opportunity to recruit new kids and to get them excited about FFA, because that's something that I found a lot of friends through my freshman year and through FFA. So I hope to be that same thing for others and hope to bring them into a positive place where they can feel like themselves.
Oh, I love that. That's kind of like my motto, because I'm running for state office right now in Florida.
Ooh,
so,
fun.
Of course, it is lots of fun, but it's stressful. Rachel's been a huge outlet and super helpful for me in that aspect, but kind of the inclusivity of it and empowering people. Like you were saying, if your cup's not full, you can't pour into others, and truly bringing joy. And my whole thing is shining your light. Each of us are born with our own unique passion and our own unique light inside of us, and it's building that up and igniting that even more to serve others. So I really like that. It's cool.
Yeah, Paige and I have talked a lot about, and obviously this episode will come out a little later on. So if you guys are listening to it, it's after Paige has run for state FFA office, actually. So we'll know by then if she gets elected. But one of those things we talked about is although Paige is running for that, the things that she's doing right now through FFA are setting her up for success in her career outside of FFA too. So when we think of your career, Mae, obviously you're just a junior now. I mean, it's the end of the school year, so you're looking forward to your senior year. Do you have plans for after that?
Yes, I really hope to either attend Iowa State or UW-Platteville and hopefully major in like ag education or something like that to become an ag advisor. I've had so many cool ag advisors around me really inspire me to keep helping kids and really instill the passion of FFA in me. So that's kind of what my future plans as of right now are. I don't know, they could change, we'll see, but
are you going to incorporate dairy into that at all?
I would like to like eventually kind of come back to the dairy farm a little bit and like help part-time. I don't know if I'd ever want to run it full-time, but I would love to be able to help my dad out or help my siblings out if I'm around.
There you go. I think you and Paige can probably really align on the ag education factor. I think that's what Paige is maybe majoring in as well. Is that correct?
Yes, ag communications and education. So the same thing, to give back to the organization that poured so much into us and made us who we are. Mm-hmm. And also I love my Farm for Profit and Beyond the Jacket team, and they've really helped me, especially in my SAE, which is ag communications. So it's definitely ignited that spark, and I think it's so cool that FFA gives us those career opportunities. For sure.
Especially through like your SAE, I feel like that's something that's really especially unique to FFA is you have the opportunity to go explore those careers that you want to. You have those job and the like different contests that can help you prep for like, for example, like job interview or different things like that that really kind of narrows down your search a little bit more for your career path.
Yeah. So when you look at the grand scheme of how you came up with you wanted to be an ag educator, is it because of your teacher, or was there like a specific thing one day and you were like, I want to do that?
I would say my teacher, Miss Billy, has really inspired me a lot, but also just seeing her work with other kids and her being so passionate, especially like working with me to prep me for contests. Like she definitely gives it her all the time. And she really cares about her students. And also Mrs. Daisy has helped me out a lot when prepping for contests. So it's been fun and exciting to see how their passion has been instilled in me now.
Yeah, Mrs. Daisy is literally one of the best. I feel like, Paige, you don't know her, but she is like well known throughout the state as being one of the best, or if not the best ag teacher across the state. She has obviously retired now from being an educator, but she's one of those people that I think will be around for her whole lifetime.
Oh, most definitely.
Helping students. And it's not even just Wapsie Valley students. I feel like when I was an FFA, she gave me pointers on things, or if she saw me in a contest, she'd be like, hey, you need to do this next time. And she was always willing to help whatever student was, whoever they were, be better at FFA and at whatever contest they were in, which I think was extremely helpful.
Absolutely. We have one of those in Florida, and his name's Mr. Edwards, and he was actually my ag teacher's ag teacher. So it's been really cool to like go through the process. He's actually nominated for our Ag Teacher of the Year award, so shout out to him. But he's helped me with all of my SAE applications because those are quite crazy. I don't know if Iowa uses the same algorithm and AETs thing that we do, but it's kind of crazy, so I've been really thankful for him. So hopefully Miss Daisy is kind of the same.
It is. She was actually my ag teacher's ag teacher.
What a full circle moment.
What a full circle moment. Shout out to Mrs. Daisy.
We'll link you in the bio.
Yeah, there you go. We'll have to tag her in all of this so she knows that she was just the best. So, Mae, okay, so we've obviously talked about your SAE a little bit. We've talked about what you plan to do in the future. I guess let's talk about you as Mae. Who is Mae, and what do you like to do besides FFA?
Yeah, of course. So outside of FFA, I really enjoy being outside. I love going kayaking and hiking. Those are some of my favorite activities. I also love reading. I'm a huge nerd, so Harry Potter is definitely my favorite. I am also currently serving as the 2024 Fayette County Fair Queen, so that's been really fun to reach out to my community and read to little kids and really get to bond with people over our shared passion for agriculture.
I love that. Did you have the whole State Fair Queen experience then? You went to the State Fair this past year, or when is the Fayette County Fair?
Yes. So I went to the... Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, like, Clay County's after the state fair, and they send them a year after. So I just the cycle of it is always different. I feel like for every fair.
Yeah, so the Fayette County Fair is like the last week of July. Yeah, last week of July. And then we go, the same year as we're elected. So like I went last summer. So yeah, it was a really cool experience. It's definitely something I won't forget. And I got to meet a lot of really cool, amazing young women there. And it was a really unique experience. And I'm really thankful for it.
There you go. For background, Paige, in the state of Iowa, we have one of the largest pageants ever, I think, across the country. I think it is the largest pageant.
I think so. Yeah, something like that.
Because in every county, there's probably like 12 girls that, run to be the fair queen. And then you have to be elected at your local level to run at the state fair. And we have 99 counties. Plus, I think there's like 3 or 4 other girls that get to participate from like Cattlemen's Congress. I know Jones County, we have 2 fairs actually. So we send 2 queens. We have a county fair, and then we have the Wyoming days or whatever it is. We send a queen. And so there's like 103 or 104. I can't even remember.
There's 104, I think. Yeah.
104. So, and then there's a pageant at the state fair. And so then we have a state fair queen. And so they are the reigner of all, I guess. But it's a really cool experience. I never got to participate in it, but it's one of those things that I always see the girls around the fair. They've got all these blue sashes on, and they're like running around doing all kinds of things. And so it's great to see. And I always enjoy getting to know the state fair queen afterwards. They're always just the sweetest person. But I'm excited for you, Mae. That sounds like an awesome opportunity to get to represent your community. Yes, so then this year, will you do a lot during the fair, or are you done like at the beginning of the fair? What does that look like?
So my fair was kind of like last year to do things. So like hand out ribbons and like participate with that kind of stuff. And then this year in the fair in July, I will be passing off my crown to the next girl on Monday. And then the week will kind of be their week to do stuff. So.
Gotcha. We have a very tiny fair queen competition. Like, when I tell you, like, there's probably, like, 12 girls, and that's the extent of it. Like, very little. So what y'all are describing, like, this is mind-boggling. That is insane. But congratulations.
Thank you.
How are you using that platform, like, to educate others about agriculture? Like, besides, like, reading books to others? I know, like, you wanted to do ag ed. So, like, do you have, like, any plans on, like, how you want to use your platform to do that, too?
Yes, so we're actually starting up Bacon Buddies in Fayette County this year. I'm super excited for that. And basically, if you guys aren't familiar with it, it's where people with disabilities come and show pigs at the fair. So we're super excited to have that this year. I'm kind of in charge of like running that and organizing it. And we just got our grant for it sent to the fair office, which is super exciting. So that should take place on Wednesday for our fair. So that's kind of how I've been trying to reach out into the community with using my platform from Fair Queen.
I think that's so amazing. I feel like Lynn County, where I'm originally from, has a Bacon Buddies activity or show, I guess. It is a show. And Jones County's having one this year. I'm super excited. I'm a resident there now. So it's awesome to see that is popping up across the state. I don't know if it's in Florida yet, Paige, but if not, it's something you should definitely talk to the Florida. Do you guys have like a Florida Pork Producers Association?
We do. So at our state fair, which is in February, not July, our state officer team works the pork trailer, and we work with the Florida Pork Producers and the Iowa Pork Producers to run that actually. So that would be cool. In our chapter, we actually do something similar. It's not a show, but it is a program for our SEC students on campus. They come to our ag barn and they get to work hands-on with like one-on-one with one of our ag kids in the classroom, and they get to like blow out a steer or walk a pig or like play with the chickens, and some of them even like get to go on a ride in the tractor, and it's like their hands-on opportunity to become involved. So I think a show would be kind of cool, like even if we don't do it at the state fair level or even at the county fair, but like even like just like a little chapter show for them to get recognized. I think that would be cool. You guys have inspired me. I have so many ideas now.
It's really remarkable. At the state fair, I've seen it. I've gone to it a couple years now, and it's always so awesome to see how many people show up to support. And I think the kids really enjoy it. Both the mentors. Mae, are you going to be a mentor for a student this year that's showing?
We actually don't have pigs on my farm, so I think I'm just going to be kind of like helping out and kind of hoping like the logistics.
That's still a role. It's still a really important role too, because that takes a lot of effort to get donors and things like that to help support a program like that. But what was it, like 2 years ago? I've never shown a pig, and I was there helping my mom, and she was like, "We need another mentor. You look young," which I am not young, and so they with a person that needed a mentor, and so I was helping them show the pig, and my FFA advisor was watching. He was laughing the whole time because he was like, "What are you doing in there? You're not a student." And I was like, "That is absolutely correct. I am not." But they needed the help, and it was a super awesome experience. I'm kind of glad that it happened, that they were out of students and needed somebody, because I had just as much fun as the people that were showing the pig, helping walk them around and guide them. So that's a really cool experience. I'm glad that you're starting that there. So after this year, will you continue to be a part of the Fair Association, or what does that look like for you?
I hope to be able to like come back and do Bacon Buddies again and kind of make it more of like an annual yearly event. And I also plan to keep showing. I think I'm taking 4 cabs this year to the fair, so that should be exciting and fun. But we'll have to see.
Are they all dairy then?
Yes.
Okay.
I always thought, okay, so I have a good friend. She lives in the county over, and the county over is like full-blown dairy everything. And then where I live is all beef. And so it's kind of different, like, as you work your way through Florida. It's like each county is known for a different area. Do you guys groom your dairy cows? Because we groom ours, and I think it's the weirdest thing ever. But do you guys groom your dairy cows? Like, do you give them little mohawks? Because they give them mohawks here, and I don't know. It's so funny to me.
Yeah, we typically, to prep for the show, like a lot of people will like wash them. It kind of depends on your preference of like how many days a week you want to wash them and things like that. But then like we normally clip them before the show and give them a little mohawk on their back. But
oh my gosh. Okay, I wonder what's the purpose of the mohawk?
It's to make their top line look flat. So some cows tend to have like a dip, so like their butt will be a little bit more up. So it's kind of like to flatten it out, and make their top line look really straight and feminine.
Same thing you do with your cattle. If you're blowing them out and you're brushing their hair up in certain areas and you're making them look full or whatever you're doing, like they're just doing this.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
They just always they do have a lot less hair, and they use legitimate dryers here, like the ones we use in our hair. I think. Do you guys use? Okay, I don't know. I live in Florida, so I'm very removed from where you guys are. But do you use like a normal human blow dryer, or do you use like the blower like we do on beef cattle?
It kind of depends on like how like into showing you are. I guess I personally don't really use a blow dryer, but some of my friends do. My one friend sits there and she like meticulously combs up every single hair, and like so it just kind of depends on what you like to do.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I love this.
There you go. I feel like I'm gonna have to now like go brush my own hair or something after this and see if I can practice. But that's always great to see people being active at the county fair. So other than county fair, you said hiking and kayaking. Do you have like a favorite trail or anything like that? Like what does that look like on a weekend for you?
I really like to go up to Decorah. There's some really cool kayak or like rivers up there. We've also gone to Volga to hike. That's fun. There's a park by West Union where we go to. So it just kind of depends. My family likes to go together, and it's always interesting. Someone always ends up flipping over, and it's quite the experience.
There you go. I feel like you can work this into your ag education, like when you're a teacher or something. I remember when I was in high school, we had a natural resources class, and for a whole day we had to live on the land. And I don't know if this is totally allowed anymore, but we used to, so, they would drop us off down by the river. It was like a mile from the school. Actually, I think we walked. We might have walked down there. And then we had to live on land. We only got a little soapbox, and you could put whatever in the soapbox. You were limited to that box of utensils for the day.
Oh, wow.
To figure out how to feed ourselves. We got extra points if we started a fire. I think we got extra points if we boiled water. I think we were allowed 1 pot, maybe. So we like caught minnows and ate those for the day.
Dang, that sounds cool though.
It was a very cool experience. I will always remember that day though, because it was one of the best days of high school. You know, we were just left in the wilderness for the day to fend for ourselves. And so maybe you could work that into your ag education in the future. And you could be like, we're going to go for a hike and kayaking, and then we're going to live off the land or something.
Free reign for you guys. Go figure it out.
There you go. I will say our ag teacher was down there the whole time that we were down there. But so we were safe. But I'm sounding like we were just like dropped off and kidnapped. So
maybe they should bring it. Maybe they should bring it to Florida. They should definitely bring that to Florida. They should still do that. I'd love to watch.
I feel like there might be some safety concerns with it, but our school, in Mae's school, it's kind of in the middle of nowhere, yes. And so it's not, the school's not in town or anything like that, and so we have the capabilities to have. Like, I remember we had a GPS class that I did, and we just took, like, the GPS systems out, and, like, Mr. Murray would mark spots, and we would go find them randomly in the trees and in the field or whatever. And so that's what we did for, like, 45 minutes. But it was super fun, and I always remember those classes because although they were outdoors and it sounds like we were just, like, free-range chickens, I was learning a lot during them because I felt like we had the opportunity to learn firsthand. And so that's exciting that you are a teacher that likes to go outdoors or you will be a teacher that likes to go outdoors, because I feel like those are the classes I remember the most is when Mr. Murray was like, go out and do this, or go out and figure this out for yourself, because when you figure it out for yourself, you're learning at the same time. It's not just a teacher that's telling you what to do.
Yeah, I love that is like so hands-on, like you get to do it. Like trial and error or learning by failure, I think is one of the biggest parts of being an ag teacher or even like in the ag classroom. I remember one of the heifers in our ag barn broke a pipe, and the maintenance guys are scared of the cows. Okay, so at our school,
I shouldn't laugh. That's mean.
No, you're fine. It's really funny. It's like an inside joke. But they won't fix anything in the barn because they're scared of the animals. And so my ag advisor, it was like my freshman or sophomore year, so of course the memory is kind of hazy, but she sent us out there, and I remember the kid I was with was like, just hit it with a hammer. Just hit it with a hammer. That's not going to work at all. Like, you gotta cut the PVC pipe, get a fitting, glue it on there, it'll be fine, cap it. But he was like, why can't we just hit it with a hammer and break it? And oh my god, trial and error, whatever.
Clearly, that's what you should have done. Clearly,
absolutely. Nonetheless, you did not grow up on a farm.
I think we have some rapid fire questions for you to kind of wrap up before we wrap up. So, what is your favorite barn chore?
I would say my favorite barn chore is cleaning the barns, because I guess you can tend to be a little bit lazy and you can kind of go as fast as you want with the skid loader down the aisles. So that's fun. I have hit some stuff before. Probably not my finest moment.
Like the rubber. Okay, so like I remember when I would go to a dairy, like when I was in high school, they had like a rubber tire that was like cut in half on the end of the skid loader to push manure down the aisle. Do you have one of those?
Yes,
I always thought it was the most satisfying thing to watch. Like I was like, this is cool. Like, yeah. And now I know how to drive a skid loader, so I'm like, I wish I had a manure pile that I could just push around like that, which I kind of do when we have beef cattle, but I feel like it's a little different than a dairy, because in a dairy you're pushing it down the aisle and you're pushing it into a pit most of the time, and I don't know if your dairy looks the same, but
yeah, we have a pit that we push it into.
So, yeah, I was like, that is the coolest thing, and which is probably very strange to be obsessed with a manure pit. It was always very satisfying for us to watch. So, okay, next one. Milking. Do you prefer the morning shift for milking, or if you have to do the evening shift?
Oh, 100% the evening shift. My brothers will tell you, like, I am not a pleasant person in the mornings. Apparently, I think I'm pleasant, but clearly they don't. So I definitely prefer to do the evening one.
I figured that was the answer when earlier you said, I catch the end of morning chores.
Yes.
I feel that. Okay, the next one is your go-to snack.
Ooh, I really like ice cream after chores. I'll just get the pail out of the fridge and just take a couple scoops out.
That's a good one.
Chocolate or vanilla?
100% chocolate.
Chocolate, okay. What's one word to describe working on the family farm?
I would say dedication. Our journey has been kind of unique when we transitioned. It's really hard to transition to organic because it takes 4 years. Yeah, 4 years. 3 or 4 years. I think it takes four. It takes 4 years to go from conventional to organic. So that's can be a really stressful and hard time period. And especially because you'll have a lot of different challenges. Like you'll have to figure out a new way for weed control. You'll have to figure out how to fight pests because you can't use pesticides anymore. So just different things like that. And also adjusting the cattle's diet and things like that. So you have to be very dedicated to a project in order to make that transition work. So that's why I believe dedication is a really great way to describe Grassway Organic Dairy.
There you go. Let's talk a little bit about the organic, because I feel like we kind of skimmed over that at the beginning. We said it's an organic dairy, but we never really talked about it. So were you obviously above the age of 10 when you were starting to work more? Were you, like, what age were you when you guys transitioned from conventional to organic?
Our first year, I think I was, hold on, I gotta do math. I've been out of school.
That's okay.
I was 9. I think I was, 8 or 9 when we transitioned.
Before that transition, I guess there's a transition before the transition.
Correct.
Because you were just saying, 3 to 4 years. So you were pretty young when they were conventional versus organic. So now is everything grass fed? What does that look like when you're feeding the cows?
So our dairy, we're not on the grass truck, but our cows do go out to pasture every day. They're on a rotational grazing system, and we have electric fences that we move so then we can section off pastures and they're able to get fresh pasture daily. We also grow all of our own grain and rations and things like that. So we do oats, a couple of soybeans, a couple of corn, a couple other different things like that. And we also do all of our own hay too. So that's always fun in the summer to chop the hay or bale the hay, spend the days in the tractor. But so that's kind of like what our cows' diet looks like on a daily.
Yeah. It was a big hay weekend here in Iowa, Paige. There was like everybody and their brother and mother and sister was out, baling or cutting or doing whatever. And so, it's always great when you can grow your own crops and then, reuse them as feed and keep that process moving. And it's kind of a big cycle because then you're using that manure from your pit as fertilizer. And so that's
Correct,
all
yeah.
organic. Correct? That's
yes,
how
correct.
you're using that? Okay.
Yep. Our whole operation is organic, from the cows to the crops to all of our other animals as well.
As I say, to be certified organic, you have to be feeding them organic crops, correct?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. That's what I just wanted.
You both will enjoy this before we wrap up talking about the hay situation. I remember one Christmas Eve, my whole family comes to my house on Christmas Eve. We do this big Christmas Eve dinner. It's one of my most favorite holiday traditions. We've done it since I was a little girl. So every Christmas, I remember we were getting ready for the party and my uncle goes, the hay's at the right moisture. We have to bale it. And my entire family, dressed for Christmas Eve dinner, went to the hayfield and baled hay. And it's one of my most favorite memories. I was, of course, like maybe 9 or 10. I was much younger, so probably not much help either. But I remember one of my most favorite Christmas memories, truthfully, was baling hay with my entire extended family, cousins, the whole 9 yards. We were all there.
I think that's so interesting because, like, we don't experience that on Christmas Eve here because Christmas Eve, it's winter. So
it's snow.
It's probably snowing.
So other than a snowstorm happening, I've never had to go bale hay on Christmas Eve, I say. But I have had to. I feel like we had a family Thanksgiving once, Paige, that ended up kind of like that situation. There was a pipe that burst or something, and we had to go pick up some pipe for our water, and my mom burnt the prime rib, and then there was a cat that was stuck in the shop, and so my sisters and I thought we'd be helpful. We went to go get the cat out of the shop during all of this other stuff going on, and the cat ended up getting stuck in the combine. And then my dad was looking for which was just sitting in the shop, and then we were all looking for the cat, and my dad dropped his cell phone, and at the time it wasn't like an iPhone where you just, it's kind of just stuck in there. It was a flip phone. And so it was like shoved into some little crevice, and then we had to get it out, and it was this whole thing. And so I feel like those holidays that always go really wrong in some way are always the best holidays to talk about in the future, and they're the ones you remember the most, probably, because I just remember that because all my sisters and I were together, and we all got in the car at one point to go get some pipe or something that we needed. I don't even know what it was, but it was a great holiday, even though it was a chaotic one at that. So, May, do you have a favorite holiday?
I'd say probably April Fool's Day. That's one of my favorites. It's really random. But
I like that it's not traditional. I love that.
Yeah.
Why? Why is it your favorite? Are you a prankster?
Every year?
I don't know. It kind of depends. My brothers always try to pull like some elaborate prank, and it never works out. And it's always really funny to like, because they put so much time and effort into it, and then like it just like fails, and it's really funny to watch.
You have to check in next April and be like, May, what did they do this year?
Well, like sometimes they'll try to prank my parents. They found like a dog on the side of the road and that they're gonna bring it home. It's just like it's super random stuff, or like they'll be like, we bought something off of Craigslist. I'm like, you guys don't even have credit cards. Like, how can you buy something off of Craigslist? Yeah, I don't know.
I love that. That is a good non-traditional answer, I suppose, for what your favorite holiday is. I feel like most people will say like Christmas or like, I don't know,
Thanksgiving.
Christmas is usually favorite, I feel like Thanksgiving, that's always a good one too. So, okay, and then the last one, what is the most underrated part of dairy farming?
Underrated. That one's kind of a hard one.
That is a hard one, I feel like. We stumped her. I feel like,
I would say the community, like, that you build.
I'm thinking that.
Because, like, the dairy industry is kind of like is dying out a little bit. A lot of family farms don't really exist anymore. So I think that by being a dairy farmer, you get to know a lot of, like, local dairy farmers, and you kind of really bond over the fact that of your shared lifestyle for things like that. So through dairy farming, I've got to meet a lot of different producers and their kids, and we've been able to have that opportunity to really bond over our shared love of agriculture.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those communities that it is like a niche sector of ag that I feel like those who are in the dairy industry are so passionate about it, but also like your livelihoods, although it's ag and everybody in ag has the same traditional values almost, but you guys you wake up before dawn, you're feeding cows, and then you're in the afternoon you're milking them again and doing all those things. I feel like you guys can all really bond over that, but there's so many different conferences and like the World Dairy Expo, and I feel like everybody knows each other at them. I've gone with a friend to the Dairy Expo and they knew like everybody down every aisle, and I was like, how do you know literally everyone here? I thought I knew a lot of people. I was like, you are making tides here, Caleb. So he just knew everybody, and you probably maybe even know him. So it's one of those things that when I was thinking of the question, I was like, what is the most underrated part? When you said it was kind of a hard question, I was like, I think it's the relationships and the people, because it's so unique, and I've enjoyed witnessing it. Obviously, I'm not a part of it because I'm not in the dairy industry, but I've enjoyed witnessing it on Facebook or seeing people that I know when I went to the World Dairy Expo and seeing those connections being like, just everybody knows everybody, and it's great to see something like that still withstands the test of time, because like you said, it's an industry that's kind of dying out, and I would say we're losing a lot of farms, but at the same time those that are still in it are making their way, and they're making their mark in a unique way. So like you guys transition to organic, so I think that's really really cool.
I was gonna say another thing. I feel like a lot of people bond also over like the challenges of like, oh, the cows get out and it's 11 o'clock and you have to go chase the cows, or the milk vacuum breaks, you have to go get a new one. So like just the challenges of that lifestyle too, and also like having to choose between some of the fun things to go do versus like doing the chores, and like just bonding over like some of the, I don't want to say hardships, but the more harder parts of the industry.
Yeah, I think you can ask people for advice a lot more when they have a similar situation that they're going through. So like my fiance and I, we own beef cattle, and so we're trying to start a cow-calf operation and what that looks like, and we've really enjoyed getting to know another couple that is a little bit older than us, but that has they have a cow-calf operation that has withstood a couple generations, and so hearing from them what they're doing, and then they can give us advice on stuff. So like those examples you were giving, I was like, if we have a cow that gets out, I'm a little clueless other than we need to get it back in. And so they help us with those scenarios, or we have a lot of people that will give us guidance on, what should we be feeding them as far as nutrition, and what should we do if we need to pull a calf, in those types of things. And so it is really helpful to have people in the community that can have the shared values, the shared challenges, and then help give you advice and help guide you for the future. What, I guess, as we move past this and kind of wrap up a little bit, what do you think is the piece of advice you would tell little Mae today, to get to where she is today?
I would say make sure that you celebrate the wins. One thing that I kind of struggle with is being overly self-critical. And as this skill does help me improve, it can also hinder my confidence. So I would say to make sure you celebrate those little wins, like, oh, you got the calf in by yourself. Good job. Or, oh, you figured out how to put the tractor back into gear after you stalled it out. So like those little things, or not even on the farm, but also like whether that be in like academics or sports or FFA or other different extracurriculars. So I definitely tell myself to celebrate the wins.
Absolutely. And what would you tell listeners or other people learning from you, Mae? What's your piece of advice to them?
I would say to put yourself out there and try different things without that one person or that one officer coming to me and be like, hey, you should come to the meetings. Like they saw the potential in me that I didn't see in myself yet. So I would say to make sure you try new things and be open to different ideas and new experiences and opportunities.
There you go. Well, it has been awesome, you, Mae. I feel like you've taught us a lot about ourselves, about the dairy industry, about organics. I'm super excited to see how your Bacon Buddies show turns out this summer. I'm going to be keeping an eye out on it on social media.
Yes, for sure.
I think that you've done such a good job going beyond the jacket and sharing your story today, and we're really excited to share it out on our platforms. So, Paige, anything else?
No, it's been great to meet with you and learn about the dairy industry. Of course, I don't come from there, and I wish you the best of luck on your year of service. I know that'll be exciting, and you'll do a wonderful job.
Yes, thank you so much for your time today. I really had fun.
There you go. For all of you listening, you guys can tune in to Beyond the Jacket on all of our platforms, including YouTube, Simplecast, and it's across Spotify and Apple podcasts as well.